2023, 3 McDonald's franchises were fined over $200,000. Why? Investigators discovered 305 underage workers illegally employed across these locations. 2 of them hadn't even made it to the 5th grade. Imagine 2 10-year-olds working the night shift and clocking out as late as 2 o'clock in the morning. One of them was operating a deep fryer, and if all this isn't crazy enough, neither of these kids got paid. That's awful. But if these 10-year-olds were paid $1 million, would that make it okay? I mean, the answer is clearly no, but some of you are considering it. What if I told you there is a company that legally makes millions of dollars off of child labor, but turns these kids into multimillionaires in the process? That's more eyeballs than the last 20 Super Bowls. Who is paying for this? Well, Robert Downey Jr., YouTube locks the fuck in. $30 million annually. Robbing parents worldwide. Tactics that prey on parental ignorance and on how easily kids can be emotionally manipulated. Quick question. What did you watch when you came back home from elementary school? Me too! I raced back home every day, grabbed the remote, and religiously watched 3 channels. Let me know if you remember some of these.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick.
No one calls Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez Atif.
How can 25 guys look like one guy? You mean they're vigintic quintuplets?
You calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther.
For kids who grew up in the 2000s, this era of Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Disney Channel was peak network television. But what are kids watching these days? They're not glued to ancient cable TV like we were. Nah, they live on streaming. But most streaming platforms are either losing young viewers or barely holding on to them. All but one. This platform dominates the kids streaming wars, leading in total viewership and growing faster than anyone else. And it happens to be the same service that you're using right now to watch this video, YouTube. Yes, YouTube. I mean, what did we expect when new parents were struggling to make it through lunchtime? Babies crying, foods flying, and in desperation, they played some innocent nursery rhymes on YouTube, distracting the kid long enough to finish their food. But that one click doesn't just calm the kid down. It gives YouTube the signal that this household struggles to eat without a screen. At this moment, YouTube locks the fuck in. They know between 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. they're gonna show this kid the best animations, the catchiest jingles, and the most hypnotic videos that keep them glued on the screen until they turn 3 years old. Now, they're a toddler. They're not just watching, they're choosing. They're tapping and swiping and liking and subscribing, feeding the YouTube algorithm with their attention. At this point, it's too late. YouTube has them hooked, with the algorithm strategically serving them content that'll keep them crawling back for the rest of their life. Which is probably why kid viewership on YouTube is dominating every other streaming platform. Outside of it being completely free and the king of user-generated content, which resonates better with younger audiences, they've had the world's most addictive algorithm babysitting kids since they popped out the womb. And once Chris M. Williams saw his own kids glued to YouTube, ignoring other streaming services, a business idea was born. He called it Pocket.Watch. But what does Pocket.Watch actually do to profit off of child labor? Well, they're a company whose mission is to transform the top performing family YouTube channels into multi-category global franchises for Generation Alpha. Sounds ambitious, but it's nothing new. They're running the same playbook that kids media giants have used for decades. When Nickelodeon launched SpongeBob, they didn't just stop at TV. No, they franchised it. They turned the show's success into toys, clothes, video games, and so many other businesses. Pocket.Watch is doing the same thing, but instead of inventing characters, they're turning to YouTube's biggest kid creators. To see how, let's break down their most profitable YouTuber, Ryan Kaji, better known as Ryan's World. Now for us oldies who have never heard of this boy, Ryan at 3 years old became iconic for his toy unboxing videos. Just 4 months after launching his channel, he dropped this video which blew him up.
Whoa! What do you see? It's a giant flaming McQueen egg!
It now sits at 1.2 billion views, making it his second most viewed video on the channel. Meanwhile, Mr. Beast, YouTube's most subscribed creator, just passed 800 million views on his top video. Ryan's toddler-era content filmed on his bedroom floor outperforms Mr. Beast's multi-million-dollar production set by nearly 500 million views. And viewers were obsessed. Kids saw this boy and felt like he was their friend. Parents saw this boy as mindless entertainment, but Pocket.Watch, they saw a gold mine. So they partnered with Ryan and licensed his entire brand, meaning they got the rights to put his name, image, and likeness on anything that can turn into a product. And instead of making the products themselves, they teamed up with dozens of companies to bring it all to life. Like they partnered with Walmart and Target to sell thousands of products nationwide. Aisles filled with Ryan's World toys, clothing, bedding, party goods, furniture, and so much more. He got his own toothbrush thanks to a Colgate partnership, his own cereal thanks to a Kellogg's partnership, his own video games thanks to deals with massive gaming studios. They created his own mobile game Tag with Ryan. It was just a copy of Subway Surfers, but at its peak had over 450,000 daily active users, and they expanded to console games too. Most notably Race with Ryan, which was just a copy of Mario Kart but released on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and PC. Still not impressed? Okay, let's go bigger. Pocket.Watch produced Ryan's World the movie and released it in over 2,000 theaters nationwide. They partnered with Nickelodeon to create Ryan's Mystery Playdate, a 4-season Emmy-nominated TV show. They partnered with fast food chain Hardee's to relaunch their kids meal. And finally, they got Ryan a 4-story tall balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, making him the first YouTuber ever to float through its iconic lineup. Pocket.Watch helped turn this kid's YouTube channel into an empire. Or, in the words of Pocket.Watch, a multi-category global franchise. And of course, they took a cut of every product sold, every show aired, and every deal organized. With Pocket.Watch's franchise building expertise, Ryan made a fortune. By 2020, he was YouTube's top earner for 3 years in a row, pulling in nearly $30 million annually. But if we look closer, the real money flowed somewhere else. The businesses built around his smile, his energy, his name, raked in $200 million in retail revenue. This kid made a lot of money for a lot of adults, all facilitated by Pocket.Watch. We'll never know what it feels like to have our childhood turned into someone else's business plan. Exploitation feels normal when it's your only normal. At age 6, it all looked fun. Opening new toys, playing games, being a star. But now, Ryan's 13 years old, still uploading. And when you look at him, it doesn't look fun anymore. It looks like a job he never signed up for and can't walk away from. But Ryan's just the tip of the iceberg. The more I dug into Pocket.Watch, the more I realized this isn't just about one successful YouTube kid. This is about building a monopoly in children's media. And they're doing this by mixing time-tested business strategies with tactics that start to feel a little slimy. Tactics that prey on parental ignorance and on how easily kids can be emotionally manipulated. Once we break down the Pocket.Watch monopoly iceberg, you'll understand how they've set themselves up to profit off of kids forever. Scale. After striking gold with Ryan and a handful of other creators, Pocket.Watch did what any profit-hungry company would do. They scaled fast. In just 8 years, Pocket.Watch has partnered with over 50 kid YouTubers. Now, 50 might not sound like a lot, but their arsenal of kidfluencers has a combined 1.3 billion subscribers and deliver an average of 7.4 billion views every month. To put these insane numbers into perspective, that's more eyeballs than the last 20 Super Bowls, the last 2 World Cup finals, and the memorial service of Michael Jackson? Combined. And Pocket.Watch is franchising all these YouTubers, betting that even a fraction of their 7.4 billion monthly views can turn into toys flying off shelves. The Dream Team. Over the years, Pocket.Watch has assembled a leadership team who are experts in children's entertainment. The CEO is a former Disney VP. Surrounding him are heavyweights, including the previous Nickelodeon President of Entertainment, the former Nickelodeon Senior VP of Global Toys, and many other ex-Disney VPs and senior executives. This team is already so cracked, but they have a secret weapon. They've secured the former head of YouTube Kids as a board member. Let that sink in. The person who oversaw the platform where Pocket.Watch stars racked up billions of views is now helping shape the company's future from the inside. And the cherry on top, one of the company's biggest investors is Iron Man. Well, Robert Downey Jr., but this team really is the Avengers of children's entertainment. Earth's mightiest adults, monetizing childhoods. Streaming galore. Pocket.Watch has landed deals with Amazon, Hulu, and other streaming platforms to give many of their creators full-blown TV shows. At first, I thought these were original, something new made just for streaming. But when I scrolled through the catalog of Ryan's World specials on Hulu, I couldn't help but notice that the thumbnails looked identical to the ones I saw on his YouTube channel. So I compared many of these videos, and sure enough, the Hulu episodes match the YouTube videos shot for shot. It's the same content from YouTube, just repackaged as seasons and uploaded to streaming platforms. Pocket.Watch is just another cross-poster, but they've taken it to a whole new level. They've proved that they can build massive streaming libraries for kids, and streamers are lining up to get a piece of the action, even internationally. Yes, Pocket.Watch has expanded beyond the US, with their creators now streaming on Sky in the UK and Astro Go in Malaysia. They're robbing parents worldwide, but it's most obvious on Amazon Prime Video, because here they have a dedicated portal with all their creators' content. It's called Ryan and Friends Plus, and it's hidden behind a paywall. So parents have to pay for Prime Video, then an additional $4 a month for the same videos they can watch for free on YouTube, which begs the question, who is paying for this? Well, over 200,000 parents in the US are. Not because they wanted to, but because they didn't know any better. And Pocket.Watch banked on it. Ads loophole. Quick question, how many ads have you seen so far in this video? Comment down below. I'm curious if y'all experience similar ad frequencies. Whatever number you comment, odds are it's more ads than most kids' videos would get. And that's because anything labeled made for kids comes with strict ad regulations. So, YouTube plays it safe. They sell and show far less ads on kids' content. But fewer ads means smaller payouts to these creators, means Pocket.Watch's army of creators wasn't balling out on YouTube ad money. So, Pocket.Watch found a workaround. They forged a deal with YouTube, one that lets Pocket.Watch sell ads directly on their own videos instead of YouTube. As long as they keep YouTube out of any legal trouble, Pocket.Watch can sell just as many ads as non-kids content does. As one of 10 companies in the world with this kind of power, they now control the only path advertisers can take to reach their billions of viewers. This kind of access doesn't go unnoticed. Toy giants like Hasbro and Nintendo lined up to get a piece of Pocket.Watch's audience. But Mattel thought outside the box. They struggled with the same low ad revenue problem across 90 of their kids' YouTube channels, so they fired YouTube's ad system and hired Pocket.Watch as the exclusive ad seller for their network of channels. Pocket.Watch isn't just serving their own creators anymore. They've taken full control of the ads pipeline. If you're a kids channel and want to make real money, you don't go to YouTube, you go through Pocket.Watch. Immortality. You know what every media company's biggest fear is when working with child actors? The child star grows up. Imagine creating a franchise around a 6-year-old's charm, their energy, their imagination, and then boom! They hit puberty. Their voice gets a little deeper. Their face looks a little older. Their content doesn't hit the same. Seeing this problem, Pocket.Watch is pivoting towards content less dependent on their aging kids. Their biggest bet?
Podcasts. But not all these podcasts actually feature the kids themselves. To preserve the youthful voice of key creators, Pocket.Watch requires voice actors to step in.
And younger audiences can't tell the difference. So aging voices? Solved. But the cameras don't lie. The kids' faces and bodies still grow up. So the other content they're betting on to freeze time? Animation. For some creators, they're building animated series starring cartoon versions of the kids. Take a look at this intro.
Super happy dudes. Awesome attitude.
Literally erasing the kids into animated versions of themselves. For shows like these, Pocket.Watch isn't cutting any corners. They're hiring top talent to make the best animated shows they can. Like the show we just watched, it was created by Butch Hartman, the Nickelodeon legend that gave us Fairly OddParents and Danny Phantom. Now, only a handful of Pocket.Watch's creators have full-length animated cartoons. Most of them have more of a hybrid situation, jumping between real life and their animated selves. But animation's true power transcends just preserving creators. Pocket.Watch unlocks another superpower. They could create brand new characters for viewers to obsess over beyond just the YouTubers. Our glorious king, Ryan's World, is proof of this. When they animated Ryan, they gave him 2 sidekicks, Gus the Gummy Gator and Combo Panda. Kids loved them. Their toys sold like crazy. Seeing this, Pocket.Watch doubled down on these characters, launching standalone YouTube channels led by them. And believe it or not, Gus the Gummy Gator has 1.5 million subscribers, and Combo Panda, nearly 3 million, with its most popular video racking up over 130 million views. And just like that, Pocket.Watch turned a child's sidekick into a franchise of its own. Because in a business where kids grow up fast, animation and voice acting are their insurance policy against puberty. All of this, the multi-category franchises, the powerhouse team behind it, the cross-platform content machine, the advertiser pipelines, and the insurance policy, has helped Pocket.Watch build a business that's pulled in over $185 million and driven more than $1 billion in global retail sales. So, now you have the blueprint. This is how you make millions off of 6-year-olds legally. To end this video, I want to revisit a question that I alluded to at the start. Is it okay to exploit children if we give them generational wealth in return? If I had $1 million in my bank account from selling little Nashampalog toys in my youth, I'd say, could be worth. But it's easy to say that from the outside. I don't know how I'd handle being bullied in school for making toy unboxing videos. I don't know how I'd cope with hate comments all over the internet about me while I was still a teenager. And I really don't know how I'd process the realization that I was exploited by so many people around me. Even my own parents. Ryan is at that age where he might start to confront some of this. And I honestly wish him the best of luck. I'm looking forward to his exposed video. The perfect revenge here will be to make a toy unboxing video where each toy he pulls out represents an adult he has some shit to say to. It'll be a real full circle moment, but until then, I just have one thing to say. Thank you so much for your time.